The rain starts. You are standing at the window. Maybe you have a cup of tea in your hand. You watch the first drops hit the ground. You watch the leaves shake. You watch the dark wet line spread slowly across the soil. And then you notice something. The yard is empty. 1 second ago there were birds everywhere. A sparrow on the fence. A robin crossing the grass. A small bird jumping through the bushes. Now they are all gone. The yard looks like it was never alive at all. You blink. You look again. Nothing. Most people think the same thing. The birds went somewhere to stay dry. Under a tree. Inside a bush. Somewhere out of the rain. And then they go back to their tea and stop thinking about it. But that is not the full story. Where the birds go is not random. It is not a quick decision made in a moment of panic. Every single bird in your yard right now is in a very specific place. A place it chose a long time ago. A place it has used before. A place you have walked past 100 times without ever knowing it was there. Tonight, we are going to find them. Not every bird hides in the same way. Each bird has a different body, a different size, a different list of things trying to eat it. So each bird hides differently. And here is the surprising part. The hiding spot was not picked today. It was picked weeks ago. The bird already knew exactly where to go the moment the first drop fell. The cardinal is the red bird you see at the feeder on sunny days. When the rain starts, he goes straight into a thick evergreen tree. A spruce, a juniper, or a cedar. He pushes deep inside, 4 to 8 feet off the ground, and sits right against the trunk on the side away from the wind. He does not sit near the edge of the tree. He sits at the center, where the branches are thickest and the rain cannot reach. And something interesting happens there. His bright red color, which stands out so clearly in the sun, almost disappears inside the dark green shadows of the tree. He becomes very hard to see. The chickadee is even harder to find. This tiny bird does not sit in a tree at all. It goes inside a hole. An old woodpecker hole in a tree trunk. A small gap behind a piece of bark. A crack in a fence post. The hole is usually just barely big enough for the bird to fit inside. That small size is not an accident. When the chickadee fits perfectly into a tight hole, its own body heat warms the air around it very quickly. Scientists have measured this. A chickadee in a perfectly fitted hole loses up to 90% less body heat than one sitting in the open. That is the difference between staying warm and slowly freezing. The hole has to be the right size. Too big and the warm air escapes. Just right and the bird is safe. The blue jay is too large to fit inside a hole. So it does something different. It finds a thick branch very close to the center of a tree, deep inside the canopy where many layers of leaves sit above it like stacked umbrellas. Each layer of leaves catches some of the rain. By the time the water gets to where the blue jay is sitting, most of it is already stopped. The bird sits very still. It does not need to hold on tightly because of something remarkable about bird feet. A bird's foot automatically grips when the bird bends its leg. This means a sleeping or resting bird cannot fall off a branch even if it goes completely still. The blue jay just sits there, dry and safe, while the rain pours around it. The Carolina wren has a Latin name that means cave dweller. That name tells you everything. This bird goes into the messiest, most hidden corners it can find. Brush piles. Fallen logs. Tangles of old roots. Thick ivy on a wall. Anywhere small and covered. You probably have a corner of your yard like this. A pile of old branches you have not cleaned up yet. A spot where leaves have blown together against a fence. To you, it looks like a mess. To the wren, it looks like a perfect shelter. Sometimes you will see a bird that did not find shelter in time. A sparrow sitting on a wire. A dove on a fence post. When you look closely, the bird is not just sitting there suffering. It is doing something very precise. Its body is upright and tall. Its head is pulled back close to its shoulders. Its beak is pointed straight up into the falling rain. Its feathers are pressed very tight and flat against its body. An ornithologist named Rosemary Hume first wrote about this in 1986. She called it the rain posture. It has now been seen in hundreds of species around the world. Three things are happening at once. The head pulled back means less skin is exposed to the cold rain. The beak pointed up means the water hits the smallest possible surface, the same way the front of a boat cuts through waves. And the tight flat feathers create a smooth waterproof surface. The water rolls straight off. Normally a cold bird puffs up its feathers to trap warm air. But in rain, puffed feathers fill with water and the bird loses heat very fast. So in the rain the bird does the exact opposite. It pulls everything tight. It is not suffering. It is working perfectly. The robin does something that surprises most people. It does not hide at all. It keeps moving. It keeps looking for food. And the moment a heavy shower passes and the ground is soaked, the robin moves onto the wet grass with great purpose. Here is why. When rain fills the soil with water, the oxygen in the soil gets pushed out. Earthworms breathe through their skin and they need that oxygen. So when the soil floods, the worms come up to the surface. Not to escape the rain. Just to breathe. The robin knows this. It has always known this. A single robin can pull 20 earthworms from wet ground in 1 hour. The rain is not a problem for the robin. The rain is a meal. The hummingbird should not be able to fly in heavy rain at all. Each raindrop that hits it is a large fraction of its total body weight. But researchers who filmed hummingbirds in heavy rain found something remarkable. The hummingbirds did not stop. They tilted their whole body almost horizontal. They beat their wings faster, not slower. The water flew off them as they flew. Why? Because when it rains, flowers refill with nectar. And all the other birds are hiding. The hummingbird that keeps flying has every flower to itself. No competition. The worse the weather, the better the feeding. Here is the part that is hardest to believe the first time you hear it. All summer long, birds fight. The cardinal chases other cardinals away from the feeder. The chickadees scold each other. Birds defend their trees, their food sources, their space. But when the worst storms come, when the cold is deep and the rain is heavy and the night is long, all of that stops. Birds that normally would not perch within 30 feet of each other squeeze together inside a single small hole to share body heat. This is called cavity stacking. Eastern bluebirds do this. Researchers have found as many as a dozen bluebirds packed into one small nest box during a winter storm. A small western bird called the pygmy nuthatch takes it furthest of all. Scientists have recorded up to 100 pygmy nuthatches inside a single tree hole on a freezing night. Their combined body heat raises the temperature inside by 40 degrees above the outside air. A 1949 study measured 18 degrees outside a roost box and 29 degrees inside. 11 degrees warmer, just from being together. For a small bird with only a few hours of fat in its body, 11 degrees is the difference between waking up in the morning and not. Now here is the final piece. The one that changes everything. In 2023, a team of researchers led by Jesper Madsen at the University of Copenhagen published a long study in a major science journal. They had followed individual birds across their whole lives. What they found was this. The same bird returned to the exact same spot, year after year. Not the same area. Not the same neighborhood. The same spot. And as the birds got older, they got more and more precise. By the end of its life, a bird might return to within a few meters of the exact place it had spent every winter before. Other studies found the same pattern for shelter holes. The same chickadee returns to the same cavity. The same wren returns to the same root tangle. Think about what that means for your yard. The chickadee that disappears when the rain starts is going to the same hole it used last storm. And the storm before that. And the storm before that. It knows exactly where the hole is. It knows which side of the tree has less wind. It knows how deep to go inside. It has practiced this. It has a map of your yard in its memory, a map far more detailed than anything you have ever made of it yourself. You have walked past that hole 100 times. You have raked leaves near that root tangle. You have stood 3 feet from the exact branch where the blue jay sits in every storm. And you never knew any of it. So the next time the rain begins and the yard goes quiet, do not think the yard is empty. The cardinal is in the spruce, 4 feet from the trunk, on the side away from the wind, exactly where it always is. The chickadee is inside a hole that fits it like a glove, sharing warmth with another bird it would have chased away yesterday. The robin is already moving toward the lawn, because it knows exactly what the worms are about to do. Every bird is somewhere. Every bird chose that place. Every bird has been there before. The yard was never empty. You were just looking at the wrong layer.